Okay, so let's find ourselves in correct Ouija posture. Just notice how you feel when you step into your posture. Check for the width between your feet. Adjust your pelvis so that it rounds forward a little bit, relaxes maybe the tension in the lumbar vertebrae. Pick up your shoulders, roll them back, and let them fall. And then adjust your crown. Well, hello. Okay, one more, two more. Awesome. Okay. So we'll wait a little bit for these two. Let's just bring our arms up and then just find stability here. So Yarrow, let the arms come out a little bit more. Imagine you're hugging a big tree, right? Enough that you can almost round it, but enough that all your arms and hands are touching the trunk, essentially. So that's the feeling you want. David, I would say your hands need to come out a little bit too and let the elbows drop. So the feeling when I'm standing here is it feels like I'm resting my arms on the shelf. It feels calm, stable. You can check whether your weight is resting slightly on the front, like on the ball of the feet. And then finding a place when you can relax. Notice that there's tension in your shoulders, in your elbows. Let's rearrange ourselves a little bit too so that everybody has clear view or clear space, maybe. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Okay, and then letting our arms settle down. That was just a little bonus for those who are here on time or earlier. It's a big storm. I was thinking, like, what would it be like if there's snow, right? Likely I'd be the only one here. Yeah, I know. It'd be nice to have snow. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's 7 degrees down here, so or 8 or something. So it's snowing somewhere up. Okay, let's bring down the heavens, shifting our awareness from our everyday presence awareness to stepping into Wuji and making ourselves present here in this room, in your root. As you sweep down, allow the tension of the day, the troubles of the day, the concerns of the day to be dissolved. In Qigong, we talk about how we can release everything like this in the earth because it's the great recycler. We'll do that one more time and then we'll complete it. Imagine now the front, the back, and the center. And then you're sending that into the ground. Imagine that the ground, the earth, recycles it and turns it into its pure form and returns the wisdom of these experiences to you, and then bring those into your field. And notice what's different just from that intention. Continuing with the general healing workout. We'll just do the normal form tonight. So using our fingers of light, bending forward, and then letting these fingers enter the legs, the inside of the legs, the knees, the upper legs, the front of the body. Let these fingers reach to the center of these surfaces, raking the gunk out all the way to the wrists, and then breathe that out. And again at the back, side and back of the head, letting these fingers reach in, imagining that the grab all the gunk from these surfaces now to the ankles and breathe that out. Letting your mind reach in, the sludge. It is standing in your way. It is standing in the way of the flow of qi and blood in the body. And one more time. Releasing. So now reaching into the earth, imagining gathering the wisdom, the presence of this earth that supports us, that nourishes us. And then connect that with your lower dantian. And seal it in. So in the sequence, the way that we learned it at school, so the next actually exercise is not frog on lily pad, but the counter swing. It's the one where we have the bocce balls breathing in here and then releasing on the out breath. Remembering that there are two breaths in there. If that's something you can bring your focus on, the one breath, second breath, and breathe out. Letting your arms be fluid around the shoulder joint. Noticing whether your elbows, your wrists are relaxed, shoulders as well. Letting your legs be part of this movement, activating all parts of the body. And then breathing into the center. And then releasing on the out breath. Noticing what's changing in posture from the movement as you were focusing elsewhere. Rio, you might want to bring your feet in a little bit, shoulder width. I know you like. Right. And then so let's bring our feet in. For now, we can go bouncing on the lily pad as the frog would do. So letting your body respond to that springing motion of that lily on the water. Maybe even imagining the wave you're creating in this movement. So if we're going to go in this, the cool thing is that as we're creating waves, the waves we're creating are interacting with each other in this room right now. I'm reading a book that, you know where I'm going with this, aren't you? Letting that wave spread through your body, through your spine. And then letting the heels come up the ground on the up and adding the vibration now. And this is more commonly known as dropping the toes. So I encourage you to do this often, this exercise, maybe when you work at the desk all day. It's a simple exercise to move the lymph, especially in our legs, of course, the lower limbs that require movement to bring the blood back to the heart. If you try that with your men's group yet, actually. Uh-huh. And how long did you do it with them? Okay, great. Yeah. Then you can do push-ups if if others want to do push-ups. So noticing how your upper limbs respond to the movement, letting the shoulders, the arms respond to the up and down. Letting your mind wander if it wants to wander. Let it be free as you let the body, as you open the body to movement. Or bring it back in and notice what's happening in your feet. We're moving actually around the point in the middle of the ball of the feet is kidney 1. So we're activating not only through the vibration, all the flow through the bony structure and the marrow of the spine and the brain and cerebrospinal fluid, which are part of the kidney energy. But the first point on the meridian. And the last point, incidentally, is just below the attachment to the sternum of the clavicle. So as we're moving up and down here, that point also gets activated. First point in the kidney meridian and the last point. And returning to frog on the pad. And then stopping. Noticing what got activated. Stack the bones. Beginning with kidney 1 again. Coming up on kidney 1, stacking the boat on the feet on top of that, ankle, lower leg, knee, thighs, hips, sacrum, lumbar vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, neck vertebrae, into the head, and then dropping the post and shaking it. Move it a little bit more. It's like loosen it up. Okay. So again, coming up. Really put your focus on kidney 1 and lower maybe. And then stack the bones on top of each other. Slowly finding your structure, stability. And shaking out again. And one more time. Opening up on the toes or one. And noticing where there's stiffness maybe as you do this. And adjusting ever so lightly, maybe what you need to do to release that tension. And drop. I like this exercise itself. So I'm reminded of something that in Aikido we used to kind of laugh at each other for, but our main teacher was fond of saying, "Oh, you know, any question? Oh, I'm feeling this in my shoulder. Relax more." Well, I am relaxed. Relax more. Simple. We think we're relaxed. There's always a deeper sense of relaxation, which is never collapsing our spine. It's more about where our mind is. So maybe take a moment again and adjust your posture. Notice where your mind is. And then if you're not too sure where your mind is, bring your mind maybe where your feet are touching the ground. Begin with this. Okay. Oh, the last set of the purging portion, or the last exercise, is trembling arms. These are all favorites, really, after a while. Okay, all right, so, that's interesting. All right, so beginning with the fingers, let's just do the more physical way of exploring this. So doing the movement ourselves and trusting that there's no right way to do this. We're just exploring how the body wants to move. And notice what happens when you introduce the spine in this exploration. And breathe, and breathe in and let it all go. Good. Okay, so now let's come in. So we'll do one where we start paying attention right in front of that, in our fingers of light, right? So bring your attention there and notice maybe the vibration in your fingers, and then let the fingers start moving. Be curious. And gradually letting other parts of the body, like from the wrist up into the elbows, forearms, not forearms, we're up in the upper arms now, shoulders, and spine, hips. We're not auditioning for zombie, I promise. Breathe in, let it go. Maybe we should add a smile to this, and then it would be for sure no zombie, no zombie roll. Oh, so one in the room's letting his jaw engage as well. Yeah, right. Oh, good. So yeah, so trust how your body wants to move, right? That's the whole idea. Like it knows how it wants to relax or release. Let's start from the feet this time. Feeling like how the feet are anchored to the ground. It's like stagnant there, right? And then notice how maybe the feet want to release that tension that's created from all the weight into the ground, right? There's like we give it permission, it starts wanting to move and release too. And then let it go into the ankles, lower leg, knees. And of course, because it's the legs now, it's like it's hard to keep it isolated down there. And the upper body responds to this in a very different way. Right? And then gradually let the rest of the body respond, not moving from the legs. Very different. And then breathe in. And up again. Uh-huh. So which was really cool for me now, which as a reminder, it's first time I think maybe I make the connection tonight in doing this. Maybe because I don't do it often enough. A bit from this end. Tai Chi teaches us that all the movements begin at the ankle. And that's what I felt. It's like movement there, and it's also then like it was moving all the way to the end. So that root is really important. There's a lot of power in how we anchor to the ground. Okay, so let's complete with bringing down the heavens in the front, so clearing the rest of what was dislodged by these exercises in the front, on the back, and then right from the core. Maybe slowing it down this time, acknowledging the structures in the head. So the brain itself, the pituitary, hypothalamus, missing one, pineal gland, thyroid gland, lungs, the heart, thymus. And right here is a whole bunch, right? Gallbladder, liver, stomach, spleen, pancreas, intestine, kidneys, bladder, reproductive organ. We know about all these organs, but rarely do we spend time acknowledging that they're there, that they interact with each other. So the whole purpose of the healing workout, actually, so as we step into the tonic now, is to bring communication between these organs. And interestingly, when we do a session from Qigong, the whole general treatment protocol, which is often the beginning of the treatment for other more serious illnesses, that's the first thing, bringing the body in communication with each other. And then we go into purging and release. It's very much the same for our personal practice. Okay, so checking your Wuji posture again. 5 yang opening. Let's start slow, really focusing on bringing the belly out here, the chi up to Ming Man, belly in, chi back down with a spin. So continuous movement, but doing it slow first, really focusing on each component. And maybe you can slowly increase the rhythm as you feel that you've created all the components of this. So breathing in, belly out, breathing out, belly in, and then the chi up the back, down the front. So what we're doing in all these exercises is we're training our body to recognize the internal flow. We're training our mind, I guess, to recognize the internal flow in the body. Working, good squeeze. And then to complete the exercise, of course, we breathe in to the, come back to the first breath in, and then release the out breath in the arms. And noticing how you feel again. Lots of heat tonight. Is it just because it's warm in here, or coming from you? That's a compliment. Okay, let's do the meridian opening. Cool things down a little bit. If you need to widen your stance, I should have said that first, so that you can come down in a deeper squat if you so desire. And at the bottom, imagining holding that big boulder, and then breathing in, moving the legs first, bring the chi up in the legs. And then when the coccyx, the sacrum gets engaged, and you reverse the movement in the spine, the arms come up, open up. All the way to the top of the breath, and then we continue. Let's do 6 of those today. Really doing this slow. This is the yin aspect that we're opening right now. It's usually way more introspective, way slower. Paying attention internally more, especially at the spine. Remembering when you reach up to really be aware of your root as well. Always a bit easier when going down. Let our mind be present with the contact of the feet on the ground. And then when you come up, like that boulder, or imagine like feeling your feet. And then just like when we did the trembling horse from the feet, like starting at the feet, coming up through your legs. And then as it enters the spine, still as much as possible, be aware of your feet. Now you're stretching from your feet on the ground all the way into the heavens. Being even more longer. Okay, last one for me, I guess. This is my 6th here. Letting arms settle down, the last one. For those that are here already, letting arms be maybe in the tree pose again, mortal pose. So if you do this set on your own, you can jump right into the lung exercise. So that's why I'm inviting you to keep your hands here right now again. Keeping your shoulders and elbows, let your shoulders and elbows sink as you hold. For everybody to catch up. And so before we go into the exercise for the lungs and metal element, a reminder that the healing color and sound, the healing color for the lungs is white. Brightest, most nourishing white you can imagine. And the healing sound is like a tire deflating. You can close your eyes even before you start here. As you breathe in, welcome the white into your lungs. Your arms come apart. Open your eyes on the beginning of the out breath, and you can go into the sound right away. So here again, paying attention to what's happening in your shoulders and elbows in particular. We don't want to be up like this here. There's no need for this tension. Letting everything be loose. And as you breathe in, same thing when you breathe out. Let everything be loose, relax. So the energies of the lungs are most affected by unexpressed grief, sadness, experiences of shame and guilt. Grief is normal, of course, in some situations when we hold on to it or block it. So repressed grief would damage the lungs. Grief that is excessive, whatever that means. If you're still grieving an event 20 years later, that may not be in your best interest. Okay, last one. And then gathering white right into the lungs. The large intestines. And any excess can go in the kidney. So there might be a question, why is it okay to send white to the kidneys? Generally speaking, if you forget what color to use, if you're unsure, white is always an appropriate color to use anywhere in the body. If you want to be specific on the organs, then it's better to remember, or maybe more specific. White will do, always. No, 50 Shades of White. Well, some people say black, like deep meridian blue, right, for the kidneys. Deep blue. Yeah. Yeah, and black doesn't feel quite right, but it is the winter, right? So the idea is you get like bright light in the yang and then deep, dark color. So it's almost black at that point, right? For the winter and yeah, well, it's moonless nights. Maybe it's because the winter nights are longer, so they feel darker, especially when there's no moon, right? When it's dark at 5, it's like almost too dark, too soon, right? Okay, so moving into the exercise for the water element and the kidneys. So the color here, we just said, is deep blue. And the sound is the 2-syllable sound. Churi, churi. I don't know if you hear that at the end. Churi. And here we're releasing fear, fright. I like to add cold in there too. Cold is so injurious to our body. So any time that you might have experienced hypothermia, or maybe like just long exposure to cold, not freezer burn. We might get freezer burn. Hopefully, it's not where it happens, but but frostbite. That's what I was getting. Frostbite. I did that on my chin one year from skiing, and it took years before the sensitivity of this went. Right, so cold lodges in the body. People who've experienced deep hypothermia, they're dealing with this for years afterwards. It takes a long time for the body to recover from cold. Okay, so bringing your hand up, wrapping the fingers around the thumb. So let's do one without sound. We could just maybe, so breathe in here and then go down. So at the bottom, really be aware that you're dipping into deep blue water. Transfer the weight to the other side. Come up. And here, stop for a moment and feel the blue coming down your wrist, your forearm, your elbow, and maybe when it gets into your shoulders, start moving and let the chi continue into the kidney. Remember that where our mind goes, chi goes. So the more you're able to visualize, imagine, letting your mind like feel that the chi transferring across into the kidney, the more this exercise is complete. A lot of aspects of this. So pausing a little bit here, just feeling the transfer before going into the out breath. Gathering that deep blue, wisdom of life that's in the water. And then allowing it to transfer as you breathe out. Do a couple more on this side. And certainly before we transfer, let that qi again go down. And then when you feel complete, change side. And breathing into the center and going the other way. If you feel that you've really incorporated that sense of transferring the qi, maybe put the sound in there. Chur. Maybe before going into the sound, really allow that qi to transfer first, then go in the sound. Chur. Sure. Two more on this side. Sure. Returning to center, letting the feeling of transferring qi into the kidney be complete. And then settling the arm, narrowing your stance if you need to again. And then going into the exercise for the liver. Yeah, it is warm tonight. Good. Right. So first, remembering the movement of the hips. And then when you feel that you got that nice and smooth, you can maybe stop on one side and adjust your arms. See if you can remember where you want those to be. One hand pushes, the other hand draws. So mimicking what the liver does continuously. The main function of the liver energy in the body is to move qi. So we're releasing on the 3 breaths. I didn't say that. So 3 in breaths, 3 out breaths. On the 3 out breaths, we're releasing experiences of on the anger spectrum. Minor annoyances all the way to full-on rage. Gathering green, light green. On 3 in breaths. Bring that right into the liver. And letting that green pushing out, 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 and in. Healing sound is shu. Then we'll do something a little different tonight, actually. Let's go into our walk to complete this exercise. And for whatever reason, feels like I want to move a bit more liver qi tonight. So there's a couple of other exercises that we do. we'll do one that I like quite a bit as well. So imagine if you have in your life something, someone, an event that is mildly irritating or that you're still carrying resentment about. And if you're not sure, you could just think about something in the world that really is annoying, where we're holding somebody else accountable for their decisions. Instead of focusing on forgiveness and light and love, we focus on the anger, and then we feed it into the system. So maybe let's move some of that just in time for Christmas, sort of in preparation for Christmas. So you bring that right here, right by the liver. Okay. So the interesting thing in this exercise is as we breathe in, we bring that issue right through our heart, in front of our body, turn the wrist down, and we're going to breathe the sound shoo 5 times. Shoo, 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 shoo. Now gather the wisdom of this. Bring it through the heart again, where we started. And then we do that on the other side. Breathe in here. Turn the wrist down. 5 shoos. Shoo, 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 shoo. Again, welcome the wisdom of this experience. Form the heart with it. Breathe out if you need to. Breathe in again. Now we go all the way to the side. Look there as well. Turn your wrist down. 5 shoos. Shoo, 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 shoo. Again, gather from here. Bring that all the way around through the heart. And then breathe in, other side. Shoo, 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 shoo. Gather. Bring that back in. And now I'm going to do it with both hands at the same time. So breathing in, crossing the arm across the heart. Bring that in front. Turn the wrist down. Breathe out 5 times. Shoo, 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 shoo. Gather. Bring that through. And one last time to the sides. Now we can't look on both sides at the same time. Turn the wrist down. Shoo, 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 shoo. Gather. Bring that right through. And notice how you feel. Yeah. Really, I like the idea that we're involving heart. Okay, I'm talking about the heart. That's the next exercise. So I've said that before. So what injures the heart is incorrect or improper experiences of joy. So either manic expression of joy, where we're always happy or always laughing at anything, or the opposite, never laughing, never. So more depression, right? So joy is the emotion that keeps the heart healthy. Interferences with that. Same thing with anger, for that matter. Anger is meant to be expressed in some cases. If it's held in, or we're always angry, there's a problem, or a problem is arising. Okay, so going back to bring the heart, the sun in front of our heart. And as we breathe in, collecting color that is between pink and red. Breathing in as we put the sun on this side. And then as you come back to center, imagining drawing the sun right through the heart here. Breathing in here. So this hand that's looking away is here. And then this one is always holding. So when I come back down, I bring that in front here. And then reverse this way here. Yeah, Ro, I don't know if you're aware, but when you go on this side, you're kind of tilting your head a little bit. Right. Yeah. So yeah, but you're still tilting a little bit. So so be conscious here that you're keeping this still fairly stable. Breathing to the side. Yeah, so imagine like here that I'm holding the sun in the center, right, in some ways, and that allows me to switch my hands on the other side. So it's probably more, really the intent here is the most important. The rest helps to open the meridian of the heart when we have the elbow up here. And here the idea is you're bringing that chi that you collected right through the heart, cleansing right through on the out breath. Gathering a beautiful pink to red, imagining brushing through the heart with this as you breathe out. As we know, our heart is quite fragile. We get hearts broken quite easily. Although it's one of the reasons that we tend to work more with gentle expressions of red, so more like pink, maybe deeper pink, not so much red itself. Maybe as you go to one side, imagine gathering a pink rose or wild rose and the smile you would have on your face. Maybe that's sunny too. And you bring that through your heart. I'm sorry? In breath is complete where I'm the top here. And then I breathe out. My out breath is kind of complete at the center, more or less. And then I breathe in. And then as my arms start moving again, the out breath begins. If you need to, you might want to slow it down if you like a slower breath. Right? Yeah, one more time each side. Turning to center. And we release the excess heat that we may have accumulated here, breathing in and out. Coming back with your hands in the triangle, lifting that up a little bit so that you're kind of looking at the sky, the sun shining right into your third eye, golden yellow. Breathing in here. And then breathing out, dropping on one side first, letting the upper body twist, gathering golden yellow in the center. And here we let go of expressions of excessive mental activity. So like maybe worry, obsessive thinking. We actually don't know what deficient mental activity would feel like here. Any suggestion in the crowd? Yeah. So scrolling. Okay. I like that. So how do you feel when you're scrolling? Watching TV. So how would you describe the mental state in that? Passive, right? So then the deficient is like it's like a weak boundary. It's kind of absorbing other people. I like that actually. So absorbing suggestions. from outside. Yep. So bringing in golden yellow, shining that right into your brain to either fill it with something that's actually healing to our mental capacity, which relates to the earth element and the spleen pancreas. Or using that golden yellow to push out worry, obsessive thinking. Again, kind of dislodging what is injurious to the spleen pancreas. Okay, one more time each side. And then breathing in to center, turning the triangle so that it faces now the heavens, taking 3 deep breaths here, right into your crown. And then letting your hands settle down on the third out breath. Letting the movement continue as you continue on the out breath, going right into turtle breathing. So 3 in breaths, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Holding the breath in. Keeping that chi in as you release the breath. The arms continue. And in. Yeah. One more. Okay, breathing in, completing the tonic exercise, phase of this exercise in the front, the back, and the center all at once. We'll do just one of the balancing exercises tonight. So there's Guangdong strokes his beard. I still prefer golden ball. Something about golden ball that feels very harmonious. Okay, so letting your hands, so this is the same position as tree pose. We bring it in front of our lower dantian, so between the belly button and the pelvic bone. And then breathing in here, and then breathing out, and in, out, in again, and out. She disperses, she gathers, raises, expands, pulls in, pushes out, and then descends. So again, let your whole body be involved. Feel this movement, just like when we did Trembling Horse, starting from the ankles. Imagine this movement starting at the ankle. You feel your ankles, your feet on the ground, and then move. So maybe even slowing it down. So let's do that. Slow it down a little bit. Feel the feet and feel the chi starting from there. Notice how that engages your whole body. That you go to the feet first. And imagine the movement spreading from the last one. Shrinking a chi in between your hands to a pearl. Imagine as you condense, and it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Luminous white. And then bring that in. And sealing it in 9 times, one way. And 9 times the other way. And then bringing in the colors into the 3 Wei Chi fields. Maybe before we start, already welcoming white into your physical Wei Chi field. The space between your body to about 10-15 centimeters. And then moving. Filling that space. So the first Wei Chi field, actually the physical Wei Chi field, connects through the lower dantian. When I say that we extend the color from the white out, there's no fixed demarcation here. The second Wei Chi field, so let's feel that. It's this space between roughly these ends here. Imagine the space around you. You're going to welcome beautiful night, winter sky blue. And this one, second Wei Chi field, the mental emotional, connects to the middle dantian, the heart. Right? So there's a bit of intermingling between these 2 Wei Chi fields. And then from the end of the mental emotional is the spiritual Wei Chi, most ethereal. And in here we bring in light, pink. This one connects to the upper dantian. Because of our habit of seeing things in 3D, we see borders, right? And when we start working with energy, the borders are much less tangible. Okay, bring your feet together. Thank you for being here tonight. This completes our practice. Oh, there's the camera. My people on camera.